One local environmental activist group wants to grab the president's attention and plans to rally in opposition of the Keystone Pipeline that would carry oil from Canada to Texas for refining. So far, delays, but no decision from the president on whether he'll approve the pipeline.
He's said many times that he wants to be out there as a leader addressing climate change, and he even specifically said that if the Keystone Pipeline will have significant climate impacts, that he would reject it, and scientists have said it would. So we want to hold him to his promise and have him reject the Keystone Pipeline.
Some local activists who don't have an invite to the $10,000 per person luncheon will still try to get the president's attention, including one group that's calling for him to reject the Keystone Pipeline that would carry oil from Canada to Texas for refining. So far, there have been delays, but no decision from the president on whether he'll approve it.
This pipeline would carry 800,000 barrels of oil a day, so clearly it has a huge carbon footprint, and if he was really serious about addressing climate change, then I think he would have rejected it right away. We're expecting to have something around 100 people there on short notice, so hopefully we'll grab his attention.
Demonstrators are being kept far from the Jacobs mansion, but they still may be able to get the president's attention along the route. 10 News reporter Bob Lawrence has the messages they want to share. Bob, where are you and where are they?
Bill, we're about a mile down the road just from where Allison was, and they've moved all the demonstrators off of Torrey Pines Road and right onto Dunaway Drive on the east side of the street. In fact, they want them all on the east side of the street, me included. We saw a lot of the demonstrators there. Some of them drove all the way in from Yucaipa, which is in San Bernardino County. We asked one who was here, the president's motorcade is literally going to zip on by. Does that matter to you?
Yeah, they are, but he's in California for 3 fundraisers over the last couple of days, and every place he's going to go, he's going to see, we do not want the Keystone Pipeline, we want you to take leadership on climate change, and I think collectively he will get the message.
That's what everybody along this route is hoping that they'll do. They'll glance out the window, see all these signs, not the bullhorns, they'll certainly see all the signs leading all the way down the block on the east side of Dunaway Drive. We're live in La Jolla. Bob Lawrence, 10 News.
Bob, you said that originally when you heard your report at the top of the hour, the two opposing groups were on opposite sides of the street. Does it look like there have been any problems now that they're all on the same side?
No, there isn't any problems here, and there are lots of police officers now showing up as well, and so no, there are more of the anti-pipeline folks than there are the supporters of the pipeline, but nonetheless, they're all on the same side of the street for this particular event.
After a quick meet and greet with a few Marine spouses and their kids at the base, the president headed to the La Jolla home of Qualcomm co-founder Irwin Jacobs.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Obama's gotta go!
But first, he was greeted by more than 100 protesters.
Climate change is here today.
Climate change is here today.
With signs referencing everything from outsourcing jobs to the Keystone Pipeline.
We are here to tell President Obama that he must reject the Keystone XL Pipeline. It is a tar sands oil pipeline that would connect the tar sands of Alberta, Canada, down to the Gulf Coast. This oil would be destined for export to countries like China, and it would basically mean game over for the planet.
The presidential motorcade rolled in around 12:30, and there were those who wanted to be noticed and made a lot of noise.
Obama must go! Obama must go!
Groups of protesters lined up near Torrey Pines Road with different messages for the president.
We're going down a rat hole the way it is now. We need to turn America around. We need jobs for Americans.
President Obama has a climate change agenda that he has been advocating, and he's been doing some good things that we appreciate. But if he really wants to back up his climate change agenda with action, he needs to reject the Keystone Pipeline.
It was also an opportunity used by activists and protesters, dozens of them, and different groups with different messages. Today they were lined up along the road, taking the president to task on policy.
We want Obama to say no to the Keystone Pipeline. He has the authority to say no, and he is just pushing that decision off.
President Barack Obama made a brief lunchtime stop in San Diego, raising money for California Democratic congressional candidates. Supporters paid thousands of dollars to be in the audience at the home of Qualcomm founder Irwin Jacobs in La Jolla. KPBS business and environment reporter Eric Anderson says the reception on the street was not as welcoming.
Opponents of the controversial Keystone Pipeline lined Torrey Pines Road. They held signs and chanted,
The Keystone Pipeline must be banned.
all to get a few seconds of the president's attention as his motorcade drove by en route to a noontime luncheon. Masada Diesenhaus works with San Diego 350, a liberal group concerned with climate change. She says the pipeline would carry dirty tar sand oil from Canada to Texas. Diesenhaus says this protest is just one of many.
He's at 3 fundraisers this week in California. At each one of them, people are out there telling him he needs to stop the Keystone Pipeline. As you can see, we have a large group of people here. I think that as he travels around the country and he gets that message repeatedly, even if it's only for 5 seconds at a time, he knows that people are really behind stopping the pipeline.
The president decides whether the pipeline will move forward because it crosses the U.S.-Canada border. He's already postponed a decision several times.
One of the larger groups was from San Diego, a group dedicated to not seeing the Keystone Pipeline, which would carry oil from Canada to Texas, be completed. But did they really think that in a fast-moving presidential motorcade, he'd see the sign?
He's going to see, we do not want the Keystone Pipeline. We want you to take leadership on climate change. And I think collectively he will get the message.
Protesters of many stripes and causes turning out, if not realistically expecting to catch the president's eye, then to make their pitch and sell their messages to the assembled news media, including us.
We are here to call on the president to reject the Keystone XL Pipeline. It's a pipeline that would carry tar sands oil from Alberta, Canada, all the way down to the Gulf Coast, and it would basically mean game over for our climate. He recently delayed action on the Keystone XL Pipeline until after the November midterm elections, and we are here to say that he needs to make action on this right now, today.